You bet we are recording. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another wonderful episode of the Sports Dolls Podcast, Season 5, Episode 14, Week 13 here in the college football world. And boy, we had a pretty good week last week. Me, not necessarily per picks, but college football, bowl season, bowl predictions. We got a lot of good things going on right now. As always, Josh Dahl here is a co-host with the one and only Dean Dahl as the other co-host.
First of all, Josh, I have to correct you as one of our followers corrected us. They asked, it says, is it Sport Dolls or Sports Dolls? And I said it's Sport Dolls.
I keep saying Sports Dolls.
Yeah.
I add an extra S in there for excitement. That's what it is. Sport Dolls. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've made a mistake on this podcast. Sure as heck not going to be the last. But hey, we appreciate the correction. I will work on it. Okay. Welcome to Sport Dolls. Here we go.
And with our guest picker, this is closest by proximity. We're a block apart, but we're not together. And we go way back. And I am so honored to have Brent. It is, I am excited to see what you bring to the table.
Wow, that is a big setup because that bar is not very high.
Oh, but the pressure.
But I know.
I was gonna say, and many of you don't know. I was gonna say I'm gonna be referring to him as Mr. Rauch because Mr. Rauch has been a teacher of mine and a coach of mine in the past. So despite being 32 years old, sometimes you just
and that guy. that was one of the first times we met.
That's it.
That's fourth grade.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Fifth grade, right next door in Miss Anderson's class.
Darn right. That's the one. And then I believe it was ninth grade football, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
absolutely. And so Mr. Rauch and Coach Rauch are just you can't get it out of the head, no matter what.
Well, at that time we weren't so much concerned about concussions, so it was probably stuck in your head for a while, and then just kind of snuck right on.
Shake it off.
But yeah, it'll
be fine. Rub some dirt on it.
It's fine. All right, we play on a baseball field for crying out loud. Go grab some second base dirt and just go.
You're gonna be fine.
You'll be just fine. Well, before we get any further, because I got another name blast from the past that I got to bring up, but we got to get that intro going because otherwise I get too excited.
Here it comes at you. Oh, that was awesome.
Ah, man, that's good.
Brent.
That was one of the best intros I'd seen.
Yeah.
It was
some of those big podcasts could learn a thing or two from us, I'd say.
For sure. I've been watching the Jackrabbit Illustrated, trying to learn a little bit more about the past history. And yep, you are about on the same level.
Yeah, that is a great honor. As if you can't tell, Mr. Rauch, show us the gear you're rocking because clearly he is rocking SDSU literally from head to toe right now.
I had to, I just had to show my new true colors.
Yep.
With Kyan being a freshman out there this year, and so it's just kind of been fun and exciting to watch college football from that vantage point. And get excited for good, solid, physical, fundamental football. So,
absolutely, and he is on the team, correct?
Yeah,
he is on the team. Yep.
As soon as you said 6'8", 290, I went, okay. That if that is a big freshman student, if he's not on a football team right there.
He is. Yeah, he's going through the motions. He's been out in Brookings now since basically the 15th of June.
Okay.
Graduated on the 9th. baseball state tournament for Northfield played on the 13th and 14th, and we
Jeez.
moved him out there on June 15th, and he's basically
Holy
been
cow.
there ever since. So he's learning the ropes of what it means to be a Division I football player. He is primarily on the practice squad right now.
Sure.
And so he's going up against their number one, number two, and number three defensive linemen and ends. He's playing mostly tackle, and
There you go.
he's learning how to lift weights the correct way. He's learning how to
Yeah.
gain weight and put muscle on. They're really not
Putting
worried
good
about
weight.
extra weight yet. They're just putting
Yeah.
muscle on right now.
Good.
So we did have has a little bit of a setback now. He just broke a bone in his foot, so we'll have to navigate how that goes now from the end of the season, and then how rehab goes. But it's early, so we don't really know a whole lot.
Well, a quick shout out to you and your family. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I sent a snap out that I was at Tanzenwald, and Brent's wife is really shy, and it's hard to get her to express herself or invite herself over.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So she goes, "Oh, we'll be right there. Save us a table." It's like, okay.
All right.
And Brent, Jen, and Kyan came, and I tell you, I've been bragging about your son to everybody I've talked to. What a neat kid, and so grounded. And he was answering all of my dumb questions, and it was so cool, Josh. You would get a huge charge out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say, love to meet. I was gonna say that's exciting. I love the whole backstory, filling us in. Obviously, we hope him a quick, speedy recovery. I work with a couple of SDSU graduates who are athletic trainers, and I do know their sports med program is good. So he's in good hands. They got a lot of good people out there, and if he follows rules and he listens to him, I think he's going to make a quick and speedy recovery for him.
Yeah, well, I think that that's one of the things that he does really, really well is he lives up to expectations that way, and he knows where and what he wants out of this opportunity that he has out there. And in the short term, it's devastating to go through this injury, but in the long term, like you said already, hey, it'll allow me to work on my upper body.
There you go.
For these next month and a half to 2 months, I'll just have to be as big as I can be upper half of my body, and we'll worry about the lower half then come later on in the early new year. So
right,
and he can compare and contrast the rehab from him and his roommate.
Right.
There's a story there. We're not going to talk about it now.
We are not going to talk about his roommate now, but
good deal.
His roommate had a similar situation, maybe not quite as committed to seeing it through the right way.
Yeah, there you go. But what I was going to say is I don't know. No one wishes injury upon anyone, especially athletes, successful athletes like your son. But it sounds like when you have a setback, it can be a huge learning opportunity for just revitalizing that want and what he loves, playing sports and everything, is kind of taken away from him at the time, which can make his appreciation for every practice, every rep, every weight room session, the things that he's not able to do now and he can't wait to start doing again. After injuries, athletes they appreciate everything so much more. They get so much more out of it. And sometimes, they use it as a stepping stone, a little, one step back, two steps forward. So hopefully, I was going to say, by the sounds of it, he's going to be one of those that's I just want to get back out there. And when he does, it's going to be yes, every snap, I want this. It's going to be great. So that's what, the positive spin you can take on that.
Yep. I hope and I agree with that. He was a little bit of a setback in his senior year of football. He ended up with a concussion and missed 3.5 weeks, and it just allowed him that opportunity to step back and see.
Yeah.
It's fun because we can have great conversations now, and it's not about X's and O's. It's about the things it's about the relationship. It's about being able to see effort. It's about being able to play at your highest level and give max effort to your entire time, because you know that at some point in a contest that matters,
Yes.
that you're ready and willing to be there and do what it takes. So,
and an even longer road, he is making friends, like closest friends he may ever have. Just because I know I still semi-stay connected with some Winona State football guys, just tracking them like on Instagram and whatever. And like whenever one of them gets married, it's like, if it's a defensive player, like the whole entire defense when they were in college is invited to the wedding. Offense player, same thing. And I'm just like, those guys are they're just pals forever. So he's got a bright future with a lot of friends, a lot of people caring. And yeah, I now I have a reason to watch SDSU now, just like you.
Yep, you do.
I shared with Kyan when we were together, because we had talked about it, and Josh, you said, what level is he in? I said, redshirt freshman. And you were like, ooh, he's getting his behind handed to him, isn't he? Because of
a lot of learning. Like it's so funny. Obviously, I've never played any college sports, but being around it through professional athletic training, you learn a lot about it, where like every incoming freshman was the best on their team. They were the best in the state. And now everyone was the best. Now it's like, okay, who's willing to work harder? Who's willing to get, beat up? Who you're going against? Like SCSU is a phenomenal team. They're national champions. They are a very good team. He's going against future NFL players if he's going against number ones and number twos.
Yep.
And he's going to get popped in the mouth. He's going to get put on his ass. And you either just like, dang, like I suck at football, or like, okay, like it's not my time yet, but I'm going to learn from that. And I'm not going to, make that mistake again, or I'm going to get better, get stronger, and everything like that. And it's just so funny from my perspective, to see the athletes that can, like, you can just see it. Like either the fire's there, they're like, I don't like getting beat up every time. Like I'm going to do something about it. Or like, dang, I'm not as good as I thought I was. And then they just drop off, they make it freshman year maybe, and then they're done.
Yep. Oh, totally. And that's again, we've been able to have those conversations about, hey, this is a process.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
They got you in because you have God's gift of a frame, right? Yes, John and I gave him that, but it's not really close. It's not a close give. Like,
yeah,
it came somewhere else, and all of a sudden, now they're going to get to mold that frame the way they wanted to, and it's going to take a process. And that was one of the things I always emphasized. I think coaching wise, like it's not in the here and now. It's one of the reasons I love coaching baseball and I love coaching football. Is it's all about the future, and it's all about the process and understanding that, because in the long term, when you're out being a dad, when you're out being a father, when you're out in the community, you have to withstand some really high level pressure, and you have to be able to execute when it matters. And sometimes it's not going to be instantaneous. You got to work at it. So
there you go. And I was going to say the last part that I always think of, I wish I knew his name, but he was just this redheaded offensive lineman, went to North Dakota State, and he was like 240. Like, again, he had the frame, but like 240, and all of a sudden, like, just seeing they may have done something on College Game Day, or saw it on Instagram or something.
Last name is Munch or Munch. He got drafted by Tampa Bay. One of those walk-on freshmen kind of came in the tight end, and that was, I think we talked, or Kyan and I talked a lot about that situation, where he just came in and he just had the great work ethic, and
he wanted it.
Let them do what they needed to do because they have the experience to do that, right? And we're really looking forward to it. So
absolutely. Well, good luck to the Jackrabbits, unless you're playing North Dakota State. And they play Missouri State this week, and should be a pretty easy beatdown, I would imagine. But it's college football. Crazy things.
They had gone undefeated in the Missouri Valley up until last week, and NDSU beat them. So And we
Yeah.
have to travel down to Missouri, so it could play a little bit of a factor there in travel.
Mhm.
But I feel pretty confident. I've been watching that defense all year. They're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
put on the rush. Like I said, they typically play uh, 6, 8, maybe sometimes 10 defensive linemen coming in and out throughout the
Jeez.
game.
So yeah, they're just fresh. They're like,
Forces.
get in there and just go
Yep.
nuts for a couple plays.
Go hard, go hard. Give me hard 3, 4 plays. Boom, we'll get the next guy in and then just come and get after you. So that's
Yeah.
good. Linebacker core is just a phenomenal. Now their safeties and their D-backs have really gotten healthy now late.
There you go.
So that's been really good. And
It's good time to get healthy this time of the season. I was going to say, playoffs are right around the corner.
Yep, for sure.
I was going to say, because I know FCS is their playoffs start roughly in another week or two, I believe.
Yeah, so the selection Sunday happens this upcoming Sunday.
Okay.
And then the first rounds will happen on the following Saturday.
Yeah.
What I think it's like the first 8 teams receive buys, something like that.
So they're hoping for a buy. They're sitting pretty good right now.
I would think even potentially with the loss, they should still be there in that top 8 position, or at least receive a buy.
Especially with the loss
lower
to
than what they're used
NDSU.
to, so.
Like that's their one loss is NDSU. Yep. So and I believe NDSU is undefeated this season.
They are.
They have 10-1.
They lost to Colorado the first game of the season.
Colorado in the game they could have won.
It was close. But anyways, I was gonna say that's not a bad loss. You always hear good losses, bad losses. No one likes to lose, but if you're gonna lose, you better, like, if you lose to a top 8 team, like you said, they're gonna look at it and go, okay, like,
whatever.
Not bad. I think they do they do the work, they put in the business, and they hopefully get a first round bye.
Yep. That's fingers crossed, and then ideally. And it would be nice if I think it's Montana, if they lose this weekend, Montana State, then we could potentially SDSU could sneak into that 2 spot and then just put NDSU, SDSU on the opposite ends of the bracket and just meet in the national. We just drive down to Frisco next week and we'll just meet down there.
If they could be 2 or 3, and then it's
That would be awesome. I was going to say that I think that's one of the greatest rivalries. I love that it's literally state to state. They're both so successful. We were talking about it at work, and I went back, and I'm like, over like a 13-year span, I think Montana State is the only other team that has won a national championship other than like North Dakota State, South Dakota State. There's like a Youngstown in there. So they've won probably 12 of the last 14 combined national champions between the two of them. And I just love the matchup. It's great. Like we said before we were recording, whoever wins that one, just give them the ship, save a trip to Frisco. We know who's going to win this one.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, let's take a look at results from last week. Not as hot.
No.
As, the Jackrabbits, for sure.
Not good. This, I made some picks last week that were either going to vault, catapult, spring me into the race to potentially try and, get in the atmosphere of Utah pickers. And just like it has been all season for me, just coming up short. So that's fun.
And the overall is there's room to grow for Josh, but
yeah. See, I was gonna say, Mr. Rock, you see that it's been a tough sledding, but I show up happy as a clam every episode, and now I'm just kind of supporting the guests at this point in time. No offense, Dad.
None taken.
The guests have had the lead all season long. You have a 2-point lead going into this week's picks over Dean here.
That's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure, but if Taylor Moon last week can do it, I have nothing but faith that you will uphold that standard.
And also, Brent, put the pressure on. There's been, in 5 years, one guest picker. We've only had one person ever go undefeated.
The one and only, the legend of Darla.
Darla.
Undefeated pick.
So really what you said earlier about the mascots really could come into play, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or if you just have good quality players that, good hearts, good caring stories, giving, that tends to get Darla's vote as well.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. It looks like we have a total of 8 picks. So we might as well get right into it.
So before we start though, Brent, you're a professional guest picker. Mm-hmm. What is it that is your secret sauce? What is it that makes you such a great picker?
I've got, as even a big guy, I've got relatively small fingers, so I can really pick deep.
Yeah.
I think that is, and then I watched my dad. He was a good pinky guy.
Okay.
So if you can pick with a pinky, it usually is a pretty good thing too.
It's a good strategy. All right, good pickings. Good pickings from the Rauch
family. Other than that, a little bit of mascot, choosing that way, good. I mean, Gladiator movies coming out.
You bet it is.
So, you might as well be in some good clashes that way. I printed out some stat sheets.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, at least it looks like I know what I'm talking about.
That could just be a student's assignment that you made them put together a spreadsheet.
I could have.
I can't read it. Yeah.
But being a math guy, wouldn't that be like an extension activity?
It could, except, we would have had to do with percents, and nobody can figure out percents of the kids I work with.
Oh, that dang, moving the decimal twice. That is.
No kidding. That's how you think it would be just a place value thing.
Oh goodness, yeah, that's tough. I don't need to get into school here, guys. It's late on a Thursday night.
Okay, let's get this going.
Oh baby, let's get it going. This is where I thrive or don't thrive, but that's okay. First pick, Mr. Rauch, we have Purdue traveling to East Lansing, playing Michigan State. Michigan State is favored by 13.5 points. Can the Spartans pull off a 14-point win, or will Purdue maybe do upset alert? Maybe.
I'm going the upset. I got to go with Purdue on this one.
Okay.
I don't think Michigan State can cover that 13.5 points. No.
Yeah, that's a nervous part. I thought Purdue is bad, but Michigan State also not very good. Penn State throttled them last week. Everyone who kind of plays them gets throttled, but 14 points is a lot to beat a team. This might be the last time I will ever do it. So I'm with you. I will go Purdue to prevent that spread. I think the locker room is like, we have a chance, guys. We could win. And so they're going to give 110% here.
I mean, you're going a train versus a warrior, a Spartan. Come on.
Let's be real.
The train has got to.
Mm-hmm. They boiler up 2-2, baby.
Well, here's Dollalytics, Brent. So it's dangerous.
Was that an online course I missed?
Yes, you did miss it. Dollalytics has MSU winning by 12.5, which is not 13.5. So I've got Michigan State winning, but not covering. So it looks like we all got that one.
Yeah, there we go. Good job, everyone. All right, here we go.
This is going to be a good one.
We got college game day pick right here. Indiana, undefeated. Indiana Hoosiers traveling to Ohio State. All right. And, if my father would move his mouse from the spreadsheet, I could tell you the spread, but I can't. There we go. Hey, it is. So Ohio State hosting Indiana. Ohio State favored again, 13.5 points. What's going to happen?
Oof. Duh.
Yeah.
That was a little bit tougher for me. I haven't paid attention a lot with the Big Ten. followed the whole Indiana story. I've seen a few reels with their coach talking about, they were just gonna come in and win because that's all he does.
Oh, you mean maybe you mentioned Google me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I saw something on that too.
Yeah, but like you said, he's just coming in and winning, and
He's just coming in and winning.
He's been backing it up so far, so he hasn't lost yet this season.
Yeah.
Oof.
I
He's frozen. We got him on pick
because that whole number spread. If I were just going
winner loser, it's Ohio
winner
State.
loser, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna again 13.5. That's a huge spread. I just don't think that that's happening. I got to go Indiana.
Mm-hmm. See, these are the things like now when you say 13.5 is a huge spread, Mr. Rock, they have had 38.5-point spreads. So just be thankful you're catching us right now because these spreads don't get bigger than 13.5. It's the 28.5, 38.5 spreads that really get you nervous. That really okay, they need to score a touchdown and a field goal every quarter and give up 0 points to cover. This one, yeah, it's a bigger spread. And Ohio State, a couple weeks ago, they had a very close game against Nebraska. And Indiana is far better than Nebraska. The hype behind this game is exciting. I truly do want Indiana to just beat them. I think it would be incredible. But I don't think it's going to happen. I do think it is going to be a close game. I am surprised the spread is this big. I think this is a pretty easy pick for Indiana to prevent the spread. I think it'll be close. They may lose by, a field goal or a touchdown, but I do not think they can pull off a win. I want them to, but I don't think they can.
Hey, I'm gonna keep listening, but the dog has been wanting to go outside for a while. So
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Here, Dollalytics versus what I think is going to happen. Regardless if they win or lose, Indiana's in the playoff because they finished the year against the ever-feared Purdue Boilermakers.
Yeah, that's just give them a win right now.
So think about that again. They're in it. Going back to the spread, Josh, 8.9 is the average spread, and I went back the last few weeks. And for the total spreads and averaged out, that's a math thing, Mr. Rauch.
Yeah. Okay. Averages, right?
The lowest average.
I think that's the mean.
The mean, not the mode.
No, that's the mean.
The lowest average was 17.9 going into it. So this is a pretty tight one. Dollalytics has OSU winning by 3.5. Do I fly in the face? I think Ohio State's going to open up a can of whoop butt, and they're just going to because they need to win these next two to get in the playoff. But I'm going against Dollalytics on this. This is OSU is going to win and cover.
Oh,
okay, yeah, I think this is going to be an exciting game. I'm very excited to watch this one. It's going to be wonderful. No one is expecting Indiana to win. This is a big statement game for them, and I'm very excited for them because everyone all season long is Indiana hasn't played a tough schedule and this and that. And, they are correct. They haven't. So this is a big test for them where is their team as good as, their record shows? And I think they're going in confident. I literally think that Indiana locker room is like, we can beat them. We can. Absolutely. I think they're playing. They got a lot of swag on that team. They got a lot of swagger. They got a lot of confidence. And that's dangerous when you're Ohio State because you're we need to beat them. We should beat them. And, maybe they're just playing the game to win or not to lose. Whereas Indiana's like, I'm going to go in there. Everyone doesn't think we're good. Screw them. We're just going to go out and ball out.
But it's at the shoe. Remember, it's at the horseshoe.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I think Indiana's going to keep it close. I think Indiana's going to have a lead at some point in the second half in this game. That's what I'm saying. You got to watch out for them.
Okay.
But here we go. All right. Oh, baby. Oh, Illinois. Illinois traveling to Rutgers. Rutgers are favored by a whopping 1 point. So here, Mr. Elk, you have your straight up, winner loser on this one here. Illinois or Rutgers? Who's winning this game?
Oh, I'm going. Oh, now I clicked out of my own background. There we go. I'm going. As much as I have some close family friends who are Illinois fans,
Yep.
I'm going I'm going with Rutgers. It's at home.
Yeah.
It's 1 point. I think they can do it. I mean, right? I didn't follow it that much, but I think they did beat our Gophers. So
Yes,
I'm going to go with Rutgers.
They did. Yeah, I was gonna say they beat the Gophers. Gophers beat Illinois. Therefore, Rutgers should beat Illinois. That's
Good.
there's a math equation somewhere in there, but it's long lost, and I haven't used it in about 2 decades. So we got that going for us. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had to use some middle school, high school math on this one. That's for sure. And but what I do know is Illinois is going to play tough, and Rutgers are not. Therefore, Illinois, easy pick for me. I don't care if they're on the road. Illinois coming off a nice win last week. Illini, they got a pretty decent team here. They have some hiccups, but I'm going to go with Illinois on this one. And absolutely.
Josh, I'm right with you. Sorry, Ralph.
Yeah,
we just stole one from you on this. Rutgers is bowl eligible. They had their big game last week. They had all with Athan, former Gopher, and the Gophers they gave it to them, and give Rutgers credit, but Athan can't put a full game together. Illinois' defense is good. It's going to be Illinois winning by 3.5.
Ooh, there we go. Yeah, it's going to be a close game. That's for sure.
Oh, you're putting your own point value on it.
No,
not only are you just taking the team, you're also going to put your own point. So what happens there? If you're wrong with your points, does that really come back?
I really think it should start subtracting, get you down to my level.
We'll talk about that here.
Maybe with the commissioner.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you.
Yeah, ask Jen, see what she thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to bark up that tree there. Oh, goodness gracious. Iowa, beautiful Iowa, coming off a bye week. They're fresh. They're ready to go. They're traveling out to Maryland. Iowa is favored by 6.5 points. Mr. Rauch.
I won't say much because I'm not a huge Hawkeye fan, so I'm just going Iowa. Done.
Okay. Is there a reason why you're not a Hawkeye fan? Or are you more of a Cyclones guy growing up?
No, they're from Iowa.
Okay, yeah. No one likes Iowa. I get it.
Wait, we hate Iowa, right?
We hate Iowa.
But Luther is close.
We could cheer up if we wanted to, but I don't want to wake my wife. So we're good. Just saying Iowa.
Luther's in Iowa.
Luther is in Iowa. Yeah, but we got the fresh air from Minnesota. It's only 15 minutes.
We get the good part of Minnesota that just
exactly right down the river. We're good. We get this fresh smell off of the bluffs. We're fine.
Let's say that's the first time I've ever heard that. Luther's acceptable. They get fresh air from Minnesota, so they pass the smell test.
Exactly. Come on.
Oh goodness. Great. I couldn't agree more. They're going to be fresh. Maryland's bad. Iowa's good. They're going to cover. There we go. We'll leave it short, sweet, to the point.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time other than Maryland makes a lot of mistakes. Iowa doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Maryland's just searching. I'm right with you. Iowa will win, will cover.
Yeah. Mr. Rock, I got to ask, that arsenal behind you there, boy, that is some stuff. That is some serious damage going on over there. Looks like, oh man, that's like what, 10-year collection on the wall there?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh man, you got sidearms, you got rifles, you got launchers. Look at all the goodies there.
Now, we're ready for elementary battle royales through the neighborhood.
Yeah,
And guess what crept up in high school as well? A good Nerf gun battle.
Yep.
absolutely.
Those
Now,
our boys
now,
were well stocked.
yeah, I do have to ask, just for fun, if you're ever bored, do you just load up a sidearm and just give Jen a quick, shot to the side every now and then, keep her on her toes? I know I would.
We're a little bit older.
I mean, yeah,
And
don't let that. If I
try
had that arsenal, Ashley would get Ashley
you
would
get
be
the
getting
snuggles when you
stopped
can.
daily.
And so you just do some things that maybe don't allow for non-snuggling.
Valid point. Yeah, you go.
Well played.
Yeah, he has it loaded up and goes. Do I? Nah. Let's have a good night.
Exactly. I mean, it is only an upstairs and a downstairs, but I do not want to eat alone.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
It's
Valid point.
empty
Okay,
nesters,
okay.
so I still want to keep my dinner date.
I'd grab the dog and head downstairs. Come on, Elsie. I missed. I got Ashley in the head. She's pissed. We're done for the night. Here we go.
Game over.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Oh, good. I'm just running through scenarios in my head, and all of them end with Ashley cursing at me and kicking me downstairs. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, moving on. There's some picks to be made. Oh, baby. Wisconsin. Let's just put this out there. Again, not a Badger fan, but boy, did they put on a spectacle last week of sticking with the number one team in the nation. Just saying.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did, and they had their chances. And if they had a quarterback, they probably would have won.
It was close. Their defense played tough. Oregon didn't know how to handle Camp Randall. Camp Randall is a scary place on a night game when you're a number one seed. I'll tell you that much right now, because Wisconsin can play with them, and I kind of was hoping for an upset. But anyways, Wisconsin's playing tough. I'm nervous for this pick right now. But here we go. Wisconsin is traveling to Nebraska. Nebraska is favored by 2.5 points.
I think I'm going to go with the Badgers on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Badgers will eat up a Cornhusker. I mean, you put them out in the field together, and all of a sudden you get surprised.
Ooh.
Well, it
That
has to be
Badger
at
will
night
take
though,
out those
because
lower limbs.
Badgers are nocturnal, so they're going to sneak up on the Cornhusker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not a real biology guy. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say it is tough because the farmer's got some weapons, but the badger is an animal. It's got the instinct. It's got the lay of the ground.
And the teeth, it's the claws, it's all of it. Like they've got an arsenal ready to thick upper neck roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
The skin around that. Like you could take an axe maybe or a corn scythe, like if you were cutting off. Man, they could probably take that on. They might even bite it with their teeth and then
take it and keep doing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They are tough. See, this is the trap in my mind, and this is probably why I'm in last place right now. Is because I'm sitting here going, Wisconsin had a great game, and they are just they're fooling us because they're like, dang, they stuck with the number one team. They're pretty good. And historically, Wisconsin versus Nebraska, Wisconsin's got their number going back to my college days of Wisconsin, Nebraska, Big Ten championship games, stuff like that. And Nebraska was riding high. I don't think that Wisconsin is as good. They kind of put their money in last week. I am not convinced that they can beat Nebraska. Apparently, they can stick with a number one seed 1 week, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to take Nebraska at home against Wisconsin. Yep, I'll take the points. Give me that one. Absolutely. Watch and learn. Wisconsin football cannot play 2 good weeks in a row. Absolutely not. I'm just saying.
Dollalytics could not make it any tighter. It has Nebraska winning by 3.
Hey, I know my math. Math says.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with you, Josh. Nebraska will win and cover because they're gonna win by a field goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Does that make you nervous that you're agreeing with me, or your pick has to agree with me?
Yes.
It should. Yeah.
It would make me nervous if I were related to you.
Correct. Yeah. It's a scary gene pool here, and my track record shows for itself. So I always feel bad when I pick with the guest pickers.
But for the record, you won last year.
I'm not a guy living in the past. We can talk about my all conference accolade in high school too, but that too was 14 years ago.
True.
We can go all the way back to, I believe I won a middle school basketball tournament in Farmington, undefeated through all the brackets back in, maybe 5th grade. But again, I got the trophy to prove it, but they don't want to hear about that. That's that's in the past. All right. Last year being the champion, great. Now started here. Now we're at the bottom, and it's tough. But hey, you gotta make moves when you can, and therefore Nebraska is winning without a doubt. Okay, here we go. We got some crap teams here. I can't believe I'm saying that, but Northwestern going to the big house, traveling to Michigan. That is a crap team, that's for sure. Michigan, 10.
I think one of my secondary bucket lists would be to see a game in the big house in Michigan.
Absolutely.
Just experience that whole component. I think going down to an SEC tailgate scenario, I think that would probably be pretty awesome too. But just for game time atmosphere, I think going to a Michigan game would be pretty awesome. I am going to pick Michigan on this one. Northwestern, sure, they may have had a practice facility, but they've never had a real stadium this year, and it'll throw you off. And I'm not a huge Purple fan in this regard, so.
Absolutely. Great pick. Absolutely. I can't believe I am just amazed at Michigan this year. I say it almost every single week, just to literally go from national champions, undefeated national champions, to just you're just kind of bad, which is tough. So yeah, it's at home. They're gonna play well. It might be senior night. I don't know how many home games they got left this season, but the Michigan State fans are gonna show out as always. Michigan's gonna play for the crowd. I think 10.5 is easily covered. We're going to go Michigan Wolverines on that one.
Before I make my pick, I'm just looking at this, and this is crazy to think. We're going to the 11th game of the season on their schedule. Wisconsin, Nebraska, Michigan, and USC have not become bowl eligible yet.
That is kind of bizarre, actually, to think about. Wisconsin, Nebraska, Michigan, and USC. Wow.
So, Michigan will win. Michigan has not covered their spread more. They've covered it twice all year. So I've got Michigan winning, but not covering Northwestern on this one.
Yeah, last week Northwestern in Wrigley gave Ohio State a first quarter scare, and then Ohio State balled out. Not comparing Michigan to Ohio State because they're on different wavelengths there, but all right. Northwestern can play some ball sometimes, just not 4 quarters apparently. But here we go, game of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Minnesota coming off a bye week. They're ready to play some ball at home. Penn State ranked, I think number 4 in the nation right now. They're doing good things right now. Only losses to Ohio State. Penn State traveling to Minnesota. Penn State favored by 11.5 points. Woo!
That's really hard. That's really hard to think that Minnesota's going to come off of a bye and lose by that many. I've seen it happen before.
I've witnessed it.
Unfortunately, I have witnessed it before. But I don't think it's this year.
Yeah.
So I am going to go with Minnesota on this one.
There
Just
we go.
it may not necessarily be the win, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's 11.5.
See, that's
Here's where I'm going to play the math
yep.
and the Rauka Linux.
Yep. Yeah.
There you
Bring
go.
your own spit on it. Absolutely.
So
Yeah, see, this is tough because part of me is like, you know what? I think Minnesota can stick with them a little bit. You know, again, may not be the win. It's always tough. I don't know. Just my unofficial week doing this podcast. You know, I like to look at the week before. How did the week before? Because I do think Minnesota, they can build or they can kind of fall down a little bit based on how they played the week before. So it's my decision a little harder. I'd like to think coming off a bye week, they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this. And, you know, all that planning can go to hell real fast if you just get punched in the mouth early, but you just never know. Goodness gracious.
You're
This one,
stalling.
I know. That's what I'm saying is I got nothing to go off of Minnesota. Penn State's playing hot. You know, sorry, Minnesota fans. I do think they are going to come in. They can play outdoors in the cold, so that's not a factor. We're going to go with the over on this one. I'll take Penn State for the points. You know, want to see go. I would be happy to be wrong on this one. I'll be happy to be wrong on this one.
So, Josh, I keep forgetting what was going on the last time Penn State came to the bank for a football game?
It was damn near.
Oh,
Surprised it's not in calendars everywhere. But the last time Penn State came to Minnesota, I was indeed getting married that day. And the outcome was good. Minnesota did win, but we are also undefeated going into that game as well and ranked. So that was, you know, that was a good thing that happened. Minnesota won the last time they were in town. To answer you, yeah, Mr. Rock, I've never been more scared in my life, not because of getting married, but I was scared that game day was going to come to Minnesota and Dean would have to choose between coming to, you know, his youngest son's wedding or go to college game day for the first time in like Minnesota history.
right, sure.
but we didn't have to make that choice.
Yeah, he didn't have to make that choice. I was nervous knowing this game was coming, undefeated, ranked in Minnesota. You know, I know it would have been awesome and electric to be there, but I was so nervous that they were going to bring game day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm taking my dad's dreams away right now. And thankfully they didn't, and we did go to college game day later that year against Wisconsin, so all was well. But dude, that made the wedding seem like a cakewalk because I'm like, oh, thank goodness that didn't happen. Whatever, let's get married. I can say vows. This is easy.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Minnesota, the numbers match up really well. Minnesota's defense is good. Penn State's offense is good. The factor is Penn State has had every game has had just at least one, if not two, weird turnovers. And the Gophers need to take care of that and take advantage of it. Dalytics has Penn State winning by 8. That is not 11.5. However, Rauk, since we're going to the game together,
Yep.
When the Gophers win, are we storming the field?
If the first 15,000 storm the field, then we can join.
Okay.
There you go. That's a good point. That's a good point there. I like that.
Remember, I've had 4 hip replacements, so coming down, unless they put out the stairs for this man, I am not jumping that 6.5 feet.
They
run
have
down
stairs
there.
now.
Run, yeah. Dad, run down there and say, "Hey, I need a ladder. My friend needs to get on this."
We actually, let me message Peter Hillman,
yep,
superintendent's son, who was in charge of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I'll work on getting us a ladder.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. I'm with you on that because
in front of section 106. Okay, if it gets down close to the game, 106, put that ladder there because it's a solid 10-foot drop.
Yeah, it's a bigger wall than it looks. I can vouch. I've got on the field twice, and scaling the wall is not the fun way.
But good news is you're tall,
idea.
so you hook on and then you go down, and then you got a little bit of a drop. But yeah, your hips may not like that.
We may, well, I mean, and we will be bundled up. So really, you probably could just throw ourselves off, and then a lot of the fluffy of the puffy jacket.
That's true.
Absorb, right? I think that would be legit.
A lot of warm equipment.
Right.
Let me tell you, 4 hip replacements. 4.
Yeah, well, you start with resurfacings and think that's going to be the ticket.
Okay.
And then 6 years later, that bone starts to unfortunately die underneath it, and you're just like, oh, well, I guess we have to go with the total.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you went in a partial right, partial left.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Because I'm like, man, I have never heard of a total being redone since I've been working around surgeons that do that. So I'm like, I was kind of appalled. I'm like, you are a specimen. That
you are
special. I just took a guy that was right next door to the Quick Trip here in Northfield and said, hey, I got some metal stuff. It looks like it would fit in there. You want to do this first one for me?
Yeah. Like, what is it going to cost me? He's like, I don't know.
I got a case of beer.
Yeah. Tank of gas.
And I slept in a Holiday Inn Express last night. Perfect.
You get it. Do both of them at the same time, actually. I'll double it.
Yep. I can go buy 2 cases.
Give me 10 minutes. I'll be right back.
For sure.
So how is it feel now?
Good. I don't have any of the pain there. It's still now I feel like a soon to be 52-year-old man with just some aches and pains.
Yeah, that's coming up here soon.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Absolutely. Good. I always like hearing about good joint replacement, everything like that. Because I know I'm going to get a knee replacement probably soon, maybe sooner than my dad. You never know. I always ask people that, I had a hip replacement surgery. And I'm always like, how is it? They're like, it's amazing. So I'm glad to hear that you are just another awesome success story.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought that my first one would have happened at 40? So who cares? Right. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, people, oh my, you're too young. Yeah, well, it happened. So you play 10 years of football and 4 of those in college. Like, that's just going to happen. And part of it was my own design. The hips weren't designed the way that the skeletons are made in the biology class, and so they rubbed wrong a little bit, and so we had buildup of arthritis, and we got to take care of that. So I'm just amazed that like the medicine can do that. They can do that. So
I heard is it's very clear what you passed on to Cayenne.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got something to look forward to. All right.
Yeah. Well, Cade had both his hips already scoped, so we'll wait for Cayenne to come on with his. So.
Okay. I'm just.
Oh, goodness gracious. We're almost there, folks. All right, we're almost there. We got one more pick here. One more pick. We cover it all, Mr. Rauch.
Battle of California.
Yeah,
California.
Classic Big Ten matchup we got here. USC versus UCLA. USC.
I mean, at least they don't have to travel very far.
No.
They don't have to worry about time change.
Nothing. They're ready to play.
Traffic. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the best part. So I spent 2 years out in California. That's where I first started my teaching career.
Really?
I had the opportunity to play flag football outside of the Rose Bowl.
There you go.
For 2 winters. So right on the grounds just outside of the Rose Bowl. So that was pretty awesome feeling.
That is awesome. That's cool.
Yeah. So that was good. First year we ended up winning the tournament at the end of the year for our division. And then second year we won the league, but we didn't win the final end of the season tournament. So that was pretty cool. Some white guys from Minnesota.
Not bad.
Flag football. It was a pretty awesome feeling.
Absolutely. I was going to say, beyond college football, man, you have the phenomenal flag football career to add on top of that.
It was pretty good. I mean, at that time, I could snap the ball and run. I always thought I was a quarterback in a lineman's body.
Yeah.
And here I actually didn't get to prove it. I could be the tight end. Wow,
There you
which
go.
was totally fine too.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I'm very excited. Not this weekend, but the next weekend we got the Samuels traditional Turkey Bowl flag football matchup here, and I've had a couple of knee surgeries over the years, so that have taken me out of that. Last year, I made a lovely recovery back to the team, and I always play center, and it's absolutely wonderful because those wide receivers, they just run and then they come back and then they run, they come back. Literally, it is the best thing in the world. I snap the ball, I block for 3 seconds, and if it's less than that and they get past me, just a quick turnaround dump pass, catch north and south. I'm a fantasy football legend. You want me on your team in a PPR league because I catch about 10 passes and I get about 100 yards. Just catch 10 yards. I don't do any moves. I just go north and south, and maybe I'll squeak in a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, the touchdowns are great for the stats, but man, I mean, just the amount of touches you get has got to be amazing.
Man. I was gonna say I get the most targets, I get the most receptions, and I don't juke and jive because my ACLs are made of paper mache, and I'm like, I don't need that. I don't even wear cleats. I wear tennis shoes because I don't stick in the ground. So there is no reason, no juking or anything. Catch, run straight forward. And this past year, I did
at this age, I'm more worried about popping my Achilles tendon, so we're good. Like
you got to. I had a close scare. I almost had a groin pull. I
remember hearing this.
I was hobbling a little bit. I'm like, give me a play, couple of sips of McGolden here. Yeah, I think I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'll put me back out there, coach. I'm ready to go. But yeah, I did it up. I had the Jeff Saturday around each family.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I went all out. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Some flag football in about a week and a half. It's going to be great.
That would be good.
All right, who's winning?
Amy going to stream it?
Stream it? No, you got to buy tickets in advance for this, Dad. But since you're a player's father, I'll get the scoop for you. You can come out, bring a couple of beers, and watch some has-beens try to be has-beens on the field. It's great. We've thankfully we have learned, because I think like 2 years ago we've played on like the full 100 with.
That's just silly.
It was bad.
I might have called that stupid.
Yeah, that's the nice term of putting it. So thankfully we shorten the field. We both length and width, both. Yeah, we shorten it.
You're playing like on a 9-man field.
Yeah, that would be.
Excuse me, 9-person field.
9-person. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say we can't be getting flack now.
We teach in Northfield. Remember that.
Right, exactly. I mean, from your 45 followers, we better be careful.
Yeah, we got to be politically correct. That's for sure. Because my career's not going to be brought down by this podcast. I'll tell you that.
That is for sure. I'm going UCLA. Done.
There we go. Where were we at again? Oh yeah,
it's a bear. It's a bear versus a Trojan. Come on, a bear's going to rip right through that.
See, I'm gonna go Leonardo DiCaprio Revenant on this one and say, hey, it can take some beating, and he's going to get up and keep moving. We're going to go USC to win and cover to counter that bear versus human attack on this one.
USC has to win this one because they finished the season against Notre Dame. And
which, again, would love to watch them win.
I would love to see it. But if they don't win this one, there's a chance they're not going to a bowl, and then watch the coaching carousel in USC happen again.
Yeah. Was it Lincoln Riley out there? Yeah, I think so.
I'm going USC to win and cover. Sorry, another one, Brent, we're taking from you.
Hey, that's fine. That's why I'm the guest.
Yeah. You got no pressure. You're just out here making some good picks. And may I say, you made some good picks. I like a lot of them. We agreed on a handful, which is great. That makes me feel good that I'm choosing with the winners here.
That's right.
Brings us to the confidence pick.
Oh yeah. So out of all your picks, which one do you feel most confident is going to happen, whether it's a spread or preventing a spread throughout your picks here? This is the tough part.
Yeah, as much as I didn't want to talk about him earlier, I'm going with that confidence pick of Iowa.
Yeah. I was thinking that same thing. I think winning by a touchdown over Maryland is pretty straightforward. Usually my go-to confidence pick is Indiana, but that's just not gonna – I don't feel very confident in that. I honestly think my confidence pick with such a small spread, we're just going to go Illinois. Illinois, Dean, you picked them last week. Great confidence pick on your part because they crushed it last week. Rutgers are coming off a couple of wins right now. But I think Illinois is going to go in there and they're going to show them what's up.
Iowa was my first pick. Illinois was my second, so I can't go with either of those.
You're trying to make up some ground. I mean, you can pick Illinois. Don't worry about me catching you. You can make up some ground, picking Illinois strategically talking here because that's a 2-point swing if you hit that confidence pick, whereas Mr. Rauch only gets a 1-point swing because you two also picked Iowa. See, math. I'm on it.
I'm
Magic.
I'm going USC confidence pick.
Wow, that's a bold. That's a bold one. Okay.
And we got to wait till late on Saturday night to catch that one.
Oh, baby. Yeah, that one, that's going to make or break it. Mr. I think you got out of 8 picks here. I think you have a good solid 5 to 6 correct at least.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Dad, I wish I could say the same about you, but with that confidence pick in USC, I do not have confidence in your picks.
Well,
therefore,
we'll see.
This is all coming from the last place person here. So I'm just here stirring the pot to make people feel uneasy.
Okay, Brent, thank you so much. I know you have to get to bed because you have to get up before the sun's out to take your dogs for a walk.
We do. Yeah, you'll see us on the Ring camera again about 5:15. So thanks for keeping an eye on the neighborhood.
Yeah, if you're gonna get hurt or something, do it in front of the Ring camera.
I know. Well, I mean, and if something happens, I just want to make sure it's caught on camera so that
right.
Hey, Dino's got it. We get it from Dino.
It's right good. There,
right?
God, I would have some fun. Have you ever just texted him and been like, "Ooh, went with a gray sweatshirt today. Bold strategy. Looking like."
Well, we've gotten some good ones.
Yeah,
we've gotten some good ones. Jen and I walking with our lights on and the 2 dogs.
Oh yeah, the lights. That was.
Yep.
Oh goodness. Well, and Mr. Rock, before I leave, this is the part I said it in the beginning of the episode. So I work at an orthopedic clinic, but we do occasionally do high school outreach. We have contracts with a couple of high schools around Rochester, Pine Island being one of them. And I was filling in for their athletic trainer as like a 9th grade football game. So, the game goes out. I introduce myself to the opposing team and the coaches. Hey, I'm an athletic trainer. I'm here if anyone gets hurt. I introduce myself to the referee staff. Again, this is what I'm here for. And all of a sudden I look over and I recognize him immediately. We have Mr. Gugesberg.
Yeah.
on the referee crew. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, he has no idea who I am because my hair's a little bit longer than ever remembered. And I went, hey, I'm Josh. I said, hey, Mr. Gugesberg, good to see you again. And he's like, like, and I said, Mr. Gugesberg, I'm Josh Dahl. And he goes, Dahl? And hey man, how's it going? What are you doing here? Working, man, just like you are. So it was just a blast from the past. And then it made me think of you, 9th grade football coaches. And I'm like, and then here you are. So in 1 year, in one fall, I got both my 9th grade football coaches connection.
You win.
It's wonderful. When my dad told me you were coming on, I'm like, this is wonderful. This is just fun. But I had to tell you that story.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's those are some good times coaching with Rich.
Absolutely.
Both relatively young in our career and young with our families, and so having to kind of monitor and balance that out. I wish I was a little wiser then with it as I am now about how to do that. But again, wouldn't trade it for anything.
That's what made you wise.
Yeah. Say again, Josh.
I said that's what made you wise. You learned from it here and went, if I would go back, I'd do it different. But that's what made you as wise as you are now.
Yep. That is so true.
So that's why I like these podcasts, because you guys, through osmosis, I am trying to gain knowledge and not make dumb mistakes. Though it's not foolproof. I like to think I make less mistakes than my older siblings and others, because they tell me dumb things that they do, and I store it here and I go, don't do that. So yeah.
Well, and your generation is still, they can save it here too. Where Dean and I, there was no saving of any stupidity. It had to be stored up here.
Yeah, those
sometimes got knocked out of us. So.
Yeah, when we did it, it was like, hey, remember when Brent was? He's lying.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I swear it's true. It's true. You had to go off of word. Now there's pictures and videos of everything, both good and bad.
Both good and bad.
All right. Well,
Brent, thank you so much for coming. This has been a blast.
I had a blast. I never got nervous.
There we go. Yeah, a lot of great picks.
I may not be right, but I never got nervous.
Never got nervous. Beautiful. Well, you have yourself an awesome weekend. Good luck to your son and his recovery. But in our lovely Sports Dolls tradition, we bring our hands in front of the camera like we're breaking down a huddle, because we're going to do Sports Dolls on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sports Dolls.
Sports Dolls.
Sports Dolls. For that one commenter that had to call me out. Unbelievable. How dare you? What podcast are you running?
Finally have my microphone.
Oh, dang. We got the microphones. Look at this. We're legit, folks. Just because I put an S in there. Gosh.